Welcome, everyone, to today's show. I'm so excited to bring you the Date Your Body Beta 2024 group. It is my pleasure. I'm excited for today's conversation. I'm excited to share them with you. I'm excited to hear what they have to say because it was a 2-month whirlwind of a lot of stuff. And so if you're here and you've gotten here because this is on YouTube, hi, I'm JJ. This is my show. What that means is I'm going to talk, but not as much today because I want them to talk. However, if you're on the podcast, we did a video. So come on over to see their beautiful faces, jjflizanes.tv. And if you're here on YouTube, there's a podcast. You can download this and take it with you. So I've asked these ladies to, for those of you that are new to me or you've heard me, this is the third beta I think I've done. Empowerment Strategist, Rewire. Yeah, I think this is the third or fourth beta that I've done. And on Date Your Body. And it feels like I've come full circle from the personal training days and the personal development phase. And then seeing that even though I moved away from the personal training, so many people wanted to talk about their bodies and they had issues with their bodies and shame and exercise and discipline and self-care. And so it was time to do this. And I'm honored that these are the ladies I got to do it with. So, and again, this is not just for ladies in the future. Those of you, I'm doing another one in January. Men are welcome too. So I have given them a bunch of questions and I'm just going to start asking them those questions. So ladies, again, please introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, how you got here, and why you did this course. So welcome to the show, Crystal.
Hi, thank you for having me here. So my name is Crystal. I'm from Canada, province British Columbia, Vancouver Island. So the reason why I joined this group is because I've been a listener of JJ's for maybe 8 years now. She has given me a lot of tools for free on the podcast that I still use to this day. And when I listened to episode number 440, and she said, heal body shame, I burst into tears. And that told me that this is something I needed to get into. Um, I definitely needed help with healing, feeling insecure about my body. And I trust JJ. Um, one, because I've listened to her for a long time, and she's usually right, more often than not. And yeah.
Well, thank you, Crystal. I'm not always right, but thank you. It's not really about being right, it's about being effective, right? I'm a truth seeker. So I like to find whatever is the truth. And so thank you for letting people know that you've used the tools. I think you've been listening since 2018, if I'm correct, which is 6 years.
Well, I think earlier than that,
Oh,
because when you first asked me, my memory went, and then I thought about it more after the fact, after the interview, before the program. And I remembered the really early episodes, like before you had changed all your audio and like the early stories.
well, all right then. Well, I'm glad that this was the thing that pulled you forward into the community so we can see your beautiful face and help your big heart and mission in life to start to blossom a little bit more. So thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, Leela.
Hi, JJ. Yes, my name is Leela. I am South African born, but living in New Zealand for the last 3.5 years. And the reason why I joined, I'm a therapist myself, and I'm very comfortable in the headspace and very comfortable and very used to reasoning things out. But I've been very aware that the next sort of part of my journey is to be more physical. I tend to tell people that, in psychology has finally figured out that people have got bodies as as well and not just minds. And so I've been sort of one foot in, one foot out of it a little bit. I've been following JJ's newsletter for some time and maybe occasionally a podcast. And I read so I joined her workshop. She had a free workshop on healing body shame. And I found that to be quite powerful. And there you advertise the Date Your Body Beta. And I wanted to be part of this working group. And that's how I ended up in this group. And I found it to be very powerful and I enjoyed the the working nature of it, that we were workshopping something and building something.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, and even even when it's not going to be a beta anymore, it's still building something because it's going to get fine-tuned, right? Like you guys helped me to create a lot of things. I mean, I created it and then we implemented it, but it's going to continue to get fine-tuned. And yeah, but I understand what you meant. So yes, you got to launch this program. So thank you for that. Miss Julie.
Miss Julie remembers to turn herself on here. Thank you for having me, JJ. And I'm Julie. The first 78 years of my life, I lived in Pennsylvania. Now I live in Texas, and soon I'll be moving to New Mexico. I'm becoming a traveler in my days. And how I learned about JJ was my son-in-law and daughter have a Kishar Spiritual, and JJ was a guest on John's podcast on Friday night. And the minute she opened her mouth, it was like my sister was speaking to me and from beyond. And she talked about she was hosting a 14-day manifesting challenge, and she said it was free. Well, who's not going to do something free that, your sister via someone else tells you to do? So I joined that, and in the course of that, learned about the Date Your Body, and was really thrilled to be selected to do that, since I've sort of had body issues, and it's been amazing the things that we've been doing.
Well, thank you, Julie. And we got to celebrate your 81st birthday with you during this program. Yes.
You sang happy birthday to me, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure it was beautiful in energy. I don't know if it was beautiful harmonically, but since we did it on Zoom.
There is a recording somewhere.
Oh, goodness. Well, it's been a pleasure to host you and to have you and to be on this journey with you. You've been a light, and I'm sure everyone's going to talk about that at the last question, which is how to reflect back to everybody what growth and changes we've seen in each other. So thank you, Miss Julie. All right, Corrine.
JJ. Hi, everybody. My name's Corrine Rose. I am from Rancho Palos Verdes, California. I was born and raised in LA. I met JJ about 10 or 11 years ago when I was seeking on, I believe it was meetup.com. I was probably looking under meditation or something spiritual, and JJ had created a group. I don't actually remember the name of the group right now. What was it, JJ?
Empowered Manifestors.
Empowered Manifestors. So that is so right up my alley. And I was going through a lot of life changes at the time, and I thought this is exactly what I need. It happens to be right down the street from where I live, and this is where I met JJ. And so ever since then, we've been connected. I have done a few of her programs or masterminds or very powerful weekend workshops that she does. And somehow I heard about this Date Your Body beta program from JJ somewhere. I was listening and I knew that it was something that I needed to join because most of my life I've been really involved in some sort of spiritual or personal development. And I am a healer by nature. I do something in the world called Love Alchemy, and I work with people's energy fields. And I also am a registered nurse. And so when I focus on others, it's very easy for me to do the body and the energetic and the spiritual for other people. But for me, I noticed that I kind of lived my existence mostly kind of outside of my body, just really sort of connected, spiritually or cosmically, and more like in the energetic or emotional realm. But that doesn't give traction here in this physical body, in this physical life. And so I knew instantly I had to join because I knew that it had to do with some sort of embodiment, like date your body. I mean, it's in the title, and I thought, I want to date my body. This is probably going to be fully focused on the physical body, and it's exactly what I need. It's the missing piece. And so that is why I joined, because I wanted more traction in living out my dreams physically here. And that is the missing piece that I needed.
Thank you, Corinne. More to come from all of you. And last but not least, and there were some others who were in the group. We're going to acknowledge Karen and Jen, who were part of this group, but not necessarily part of this recording. And at the last minute, she'll tell you about it, is Mandy. Welcome, Mandy.
Sorry. Thanks for having me. I probably am the last one, maybe Julie, to find JJ. I found her through Dr. Davis's podcast. And what she said about talk therapy being okay, but like there's never action steps. It really resonated with me. And I ended up in Date Your Body on accident. No, it was right place, right time. But I was actually trying to join a different class, the rewiring your emotional wounds. And she's like, well, I'm starting a class tonight if you want to be in, but you're a Taurus and you probably don't want to join. And so and so I did, pretty much just because she didn't think I would. And I am so glad that I did.
Okay, reverse psychology works. Good to know. I was kind of letting you off the hook there a little bit. I was like, I understand like you weren't planning on this. It's so last minute. It's literally tonight. But yeah, divine timing all kind of worked out. So yeah, you did it, and I'm glad you were here, and you're glad you were here, and I can't wait to hear more about your journey. So circling back to Crystal. So the second question, I want to make it more specific. You guys can, if there's more that we want to share after we get through the questions, then I'm going to let you share whatever else you want to share. And just to stay on point, instead of just like, what did you experience? I would like you to talk about the most impactful thing that happened for you during this program, whether it be an exercise, an awareness, a wake up call, a tool that we talked about, or just the different things you were pushed and asked to do and how to stretch yourself. I'd love to know what the most, and if you have more than one, you can name them, but I want you to just kind of focus on what you think the most impactful thing was for you, and what is either changed or what you think will be changing long term because of this. Crystal.
Okay. This is a big question. So I think the major thing was a shift in self-awareness. It was quite unexpected. There was this energy within the group, and it felt like momentum, like something was like pushing you to keep trying and keep trying. And I think the best tool was using the feelings and needs list, and that self-reflecting, and the encouragement to do something, but not being forced to do something, and the willingness that came forward to try and do something that was maybe a bit scary. My positive self-talk has definitely increased. I have experienced, as well as an emotional shift towards myself and an emotional shift towards others. My spirit feels lighter. I feel more grounded. I feel more present in my body around other people. And that was something that I had not associated with feeling insecure in my body, but it came up a lot, and it helped me work on that. And the tools within the group, like tapping, definitely made a big difference in getting into my body. And so being more in my body actually helps what I do with horses, like a lot. And it was like this exciting discovery within the program, which I had not anticipated. And it's such a gift, and I'm so excited. And yeah, and it was really neat having you, JJ, be our coach. And you definitely have some incredible intuitive abilities and timing. That yeah, it's definitely, yeah, right place, right time throughout the whole program.
Thanks. Good. I'm glad it was effective for you, uh and that we were tracking, right? It's an energy that we're sharing, and especially what's helpful. And it doesn't have to be, because Mandy's somewhat new and Julie's somewhat new. You don't have to be new. You have to be in alignment. But the fact that you've been listening for so long, there's a trust that you have in me, and sort of a connection. So, and again, all of the stuff I've ever talked about on the podcast, right? There's like sort of all that data, there's all that like experience. And then and I know that we can draw from that, because if you've been on this journey, then it's there for us to use as a tool. So, I'm glad that it was helpful. And, I look forward to hearing some more. I know we're going to have some time for it. So let's go to Leela. Leela, what was the biggest tool or breakthrough or aha moment for you?
Okay, the big thing, which I'm sure JJ will come as no surprise, is, so to me, being part of a group, that there's a structure, but being part of a group brings its own magic. There's a dynamic that you can't get when you try and do something on your own. And to me, the big thing was it's a process more than the specific content of what we were doing. And to me, when I started this, or when I decided to do it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go, full out, and it's going to be, and I'm going to, and I had this anticipated, I'm going to be in the way in which I'm going to do it. And it didn't work like that at all. It felt I was overwhelmed. And I wanted to check out, because in my mind, that was either I do it perfectly and I get it all right, and I've invested in this, or I must do it when I am ready. And that's definitely been my pattern. That to me is the fact that pattern emerges in this group, regardless of what the content is, and being able to work with that and to overcome my expectation and that perfectionism of, if I can't get it all right immediately the first time, or follow all the processes, or watch all the videos, or do everything, then it's not worth it. And to actually then to just be in it and to stay with it, and to focus on what is manageable, and to start working that in. And to me, this is the big breakthrough, because this is what I needed to be able to work on, because I want to make lifestyle changes, and life will never be something that you manage and you tick all these boxes, and I get this right, and then I move on to the next step, and then you do the next thing. It's sort of, I'm going to live in this body, and I need to, and making a healthy lifestyle and making changes and incorporating that, and have a life, and have relationships, and go on holiday, and somehow being part of a group, we all bring that. We were all at different places. We had work commitments, we went away, we traveled, we had people were sick, and we could all sort of incorporate that and see, how do you still honor your body? How do you still show up for yourself and for each other? So that to me is the magic that comes from being part of a process. Yeah.
Well, and I have to give you credit, Leela, because you were speaking your truth. Here's what you gave me. You gave me the opportunity to reflect back your pattern, because you acknowledged it and you shared. Because here's what's happening. There are people who are listening to this that wanted to do it and never reached out because of that exact thing. Because if I don't have the time to do it perfectly, then I'm not going to do it. This happens all the time. People like in Empower You or whatever, well, I can't make the meetings. I'm like, so they're recorded. So make the next one. It's $25 a month. Like, I don't understand what the big deal. But it's because if I can't show up every single time, if I can't do it, then I can, and like you just said, it's not an all or nothing. But a lot of people some people would have not even stepped forward, which people listening to this, they know who they are. And I don't know who they are. I'm just saying, I know you're going to know who you are, because you're sitting there going, I should have done that. And then you didn't do it. And now you're going, well, okay, well, am I going to do it in the future? Or you sign up and then you bolt you leave, you run the other direction because you're like, oh my God, I'm failing. I'm not keeping up. I can't, this is too overwhelming. This is too much time. I can't do this, which is what you wanted to do, but you let it have a voice. Like you talked about it, you shared it, and you didn't make it a final thing because you could have left. You could have been like, okay, I quit. I'm done. I'm not here, and never showed up again. But you didn't. You put it out there and you were honest, and that takes courage. And I just want to acknowledge that because that lesson in itself for you and everyone else who got to see that, even though we didn't deal with core wounds, I knew that that was a pattern for you because I talk people off of ledges all the time. So it's something I kind of understand, right? Like, where is this coming from? And you got to be the most recent ledge, but because of your work and your own profession, you understand when I got to reflect back to you, oh, this is the pattern. And I said, maybe this is something you do all the time. And you're like, yes, it is. And and when you mentioned about the group being more powerful than something you're doing on your own, yes. And a group is more powerful than anybody. I don't care what coach you are. It could be freaking Tony Robbins, anybody. I don't care who you are. A group is more powerful than any one person. That's the beauty of this. And when I started doing it with the empowerment strategist, after the second year, I was like, I can't stop this. This is too magical. And that was when the next group became the 6-month deep dive because I didn't have a better name. And then after that became a 3-month thing. And then I did the rewire, right? Because I didn't know. I wanted to keep this magic of what you learned from each other, which you're going to share with each other later. What you saw, what you learned, how you grew. So thank you so much, Leila, for that. I'm not surprised. Yes. And I've also, well, we'll wait to the end to give you that reflection back to you. Okay. So now we're at Julie, Miss Julie.
Okay. The most, excuse me, boy, I'm having this throat issues. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I think the most impactful thing for me personally was when we did the love languages, and I got smacked in the head because I always thought I was one thing, and then I was something else, and then that caused me to have like a psychic attack or something. This horrible voice from the past came, saying, "Ooh, you're a greedy ghost," and all this. It was awful. And then I felt like I should not burden the group with that past terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. But everyone was so supportive because they were like, tell us today or don't tell us today. We'll listen any day. Tell us all, tell one of us, whatever. We're here to support you. And that love and encouragement is what made me process that in an entirely different way than, the 200 hours of therapy that I had, and at least 200. And so that I recognized where that was going, and I was able to, when I was in the hospital, I kept taking pictures of my food, and I kept, telling you all that I would tell you the fish story and why the fish would happen. And I still have to do that. I will do that someday. But that was a huge win for me to be able to eat fish, and I didn't even know that I enjoyed it. So that was it was like, it's hard to say where's the major breakthrough, because along the way it was this happened, then that caused this to happen, then that caused this to happen, to where there's just a joy and a peace around that whole thing that I never thought I would feel. And that comes from the group. Like you said, it's the power of the group. And we don't know where that's going to go. We don't know where it's going to take us, but it's all done in love and caring. So that's the important thing.
Yeah, I think also, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, and I know it's all you guys experience something different, but for me, one of my best breakthroughs for you was when we did the heart chi balance, and you started to have feeling in your legs from neuropathy. I was like, okay, this woman has not had any feeling in her legs, and we're moving energy around her body, and she's having feeling in her legs. I don't know. I think that's kind of a big freaking deal.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like major breakthrough. But I mean, I practically had some kind of breakthrough every week or every couple of days. And so now I can't wait to get these feet in the Pacific Ocean, and I bet all my feeling will come back.
Well, yeah. And as we go through the Embodied Healing Intensive, I don't doubt that there may be some more stuff that, well, there definitely going to be more stuff that's happening. But in this, it's been amazing to see what physical changes can happen without being physical with each other.
Right, absolutely. And then one other thing that's been really powerful is doing the manifestation, the little, I don't know, it's 8 minutes or so, and we manifest things. And I mean, if I started listing all the things that I've been able to manifest, we'd be, we'd have a 2-hour podcast. And I'm not exaggerating. I have a tendency to be hyperbolic, but I'm not. It's
No,
just every time I turn around, something else is popping up.
no, I know.
Today something happened, which I won't go into just because it's somebody else's turn, but it happened again today. My daughter and I just giggled and giggled.
No, you are a very powerful manifester, and it's been inspiring to hear you manifest all the great things that you have in these 2 months, and then the month before in the 14-day manifestation challenge. And by the way, I'm doing another one in November, so please do that one too, so some of you can keep this manifestation process going. But we're gonna get back to you. Already signed up? Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. All right. And I know, well, there's going to be room for some crosstalk. Okay. So Kareen, what about you?
Gosh, there were just like Julie said, there were so many like really impactful moments along the way. It's hard to just name one thing, but I will say that for me, this whole program was really transformational. And what helped me the most, I think, was the daily practices that you had us do every single day. And JJ, you're always really good at kind of like reading the people right in front of you. You just have this knowing or this intuition. It's like which way you should lead whoever you're working with, and you are on point every time. And when you gave us like, I think it was like 3 or 4 practices, like we had a group meeting, and you're like, for this first month, I want you to focus on, I think it was maybe 4 things. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to do it. And you were really good about having us sort of arrive to certain commitments for ourselves. And we were all there for each other. We had accountability partners. And I've never liked the idea of accountability partners, but you know what? It really works. And I mean, it really, really works. And then also doing this within a group setting, I felt like, gosh, if we're all committed to doing this together, like I certainly want to show up for the tribe and for myself. And when I thought of a couple of the practices, I thought, okay, I'm going to do them, but they're probably not going to I don't know, they're probably not going to have any impact on me. But what I found is like doing the mirror work, for example. I don't want to go into all the details, but doing the mirror work in the mornings and having sort of a conversation with myself, waking up in the mornings, looking in the mirror in the way that you taught us to do, really began to develop a different relationship. And I was so surprised, but I began to develop a different relationship with my physical body. And I began to realize how much I really appreciate, you see a little emotional, how much I appreciate this physical body that throughout my life didn't really notice too much, just because of how life was, or because of, childhood programming, or just because I'm so typically focused outward in helping people, but frequently forgot to invite myself to that party. And so this program really, really has helped me connect with my physical expression on this earth, which has actually helped me feel so much more confident in my existence in this life, where so often, sometimes unknowingly, I would just feel kind of unsafe or afraid or somewhat insecure. There was always sort of like this little something, you know? And I just noticed, and that's part of the reason why I have literally done decades of spiritual work, emotional work, and physical healing from chronic conditions, because of all of this magic that's available. And it's why I do what I do, helping people, right? In the energetic, spiritual, and even physical realms. But I had no idea that by focusing solely, right? Because you are really great at keeping us focused on, this is about connecting with your body. This is about the physical. This is about the physical. And I had no idea that focusing myself on my physical body, that every other part of my life would improve, including that existential wound of like, I don't know if certain things are available for me personally. And there's so many things like, and it really has healed that. Even my relationship with what I feel is creator or source or the divine or God. Like there's more of a connection even in that. So it helped focusing on my physical body has even helped my spiritual connection, my energetic connection, kind of all of it. And so that's pretty major for me. And I'm going to keep on keeping on with this because there's so much more to come. This was 8 weeks, and that's what has happened. So I'm going to continue, and I'm excited to see. Oh, and also I'll add that because the relationship with my physical body is changing, then I'm choosing, to eat very differently. Like I've always kind of for decades been a person who's focused on eating organic or pesticide free or staying away from the chemicals and whatnot. But portion control, sometimes would elude me. And there's certain habits, that would be healthier, would just elude me. And now I'm noticing that it's easy to look at my food, prepare my food, or even go to restaurants. And it's become easy and like a pleasure to order in a way where I know that, is going to get me to my eventual like physical body goals, right? That do have to do with weight loss. I'd like to drop probably 35 more pounds. And now there's a confidence in me that I know that I will be able to do it. And it will be easier because I'm more embodied. Even my voice has changed. It's just deeper. So I'm just very grateful, JJ. You're stellar. You always have been, but you continue to evolve and bring those of us with you who want to go, and it just keeps getting better.
Thanks, Green. Yeah, I'm glad you did this program.
Me too.
It was nice to see how this could help you show up for yourself more and heal some of the core wound stuff that, that is, it's like out there, right? Now everything's in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we bridge the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, Miss Mandy.
Okay, tools. Marco Polo was the most impactful. I have never video chatted with anybody ever in my life, and looking at yourself, like really looking at yourself, was always very difficult for me, and now it's much more easy. Of course, the group and the accountability partner were key. Ho'oponopono, oh my gosh, feelings and needs list, feelings and needs list, feelings and needs list, and the Abraham Hicks emotional scale, and the rampages. Those were the most impactful tools for me. But I got to mention, because nobody has the Invisible Fitness Formula, the program that you gave us on the, the logging class we could do on our own was fantastic. It was beautifully structured. one change at a time, which is kind of how I roll. I like one thing at a time. And that was, I'm going back through now at a much slower pace. I kind of binged all the videos, and I'm going back through, and it was just fantastic. And yeah, that's it.
Well, thanks, Mandy. Well, you wrote me a testimonial and you said that it was worth the price of admission. And I thought, oh, I have underpriced that whole course then, um, as a standalone, because it got included in this course in the bundle. So that was fun to hear that you enjoyed it to that extent. And I know no one's really mentioned, but I do believe, and again, everyone's goals were different for coming in here. Like, I don't think, Crystal, you had any weight loss goals, did you? But Mandy did, and Corrine did, and Julie did, and I think all three of you and Jen did, right? And I think you all lost weight, correct? I mean, again, that wasn't the only piece. And some of you might expect, if you're listening, well, doesn't date your body mean I have to lose weight? And yeah, that's part of it, but that isn't all of it. Like, I want you to not have a healthy relationship with your body that doesn't depend on a scale and a number to give you permission to love yourself. Like, that's dysfunctional. I don't like that, and I don't want that. So that's the basis of this. And if you have my book or read Invisible Fitness Formula, I talk about all that. I go through all that, and we deal with that, but we start to build a new relationship. Okay. So with the time we have left, I would like to go back to the beginning and have you reflect back to each person who's here. And if you want to throw in Karen and Jen also, please do, because they're going to be listening to this, and let them know any changes, positive changes you saw in them throughout the program, or anything you want to just shout out to them as part of this group. So Crystal, when you're ready.
Okay, so I wrote it down. I'm going to read from that because then I'll be happy. Jen, the funny one. First off, you glow now. Your skin and eyes are brighter. You've become open to sharing a kind and giving side of yourself. Your voice has changed. There is a loving, funny, and friendly quality to the tone of your voice, and it suits you. I've told you this, Jen, and I'll say it again. You truly are a blessing. Corrine, the loving one. Corrine, there has been a shift in how much you say, and this caused what you say to hold so much more meaning. There is this beautiful simplicity to the wisdom you've shared with all of us. You've become even more loving and kind. Thank you for sharing your love with all of us. Karen, the fun one. You have become more grounded and open. You've become willing to share your vulnerable side with us, and it is so inspiring. I think your self-awareness has changed since the beginning of the program. I enjoy the fun, playful energy that is you. You are a trendsetter. Thank you for bringing your love and light to the group. Leela, the thoughtful one. You have blossomed into a beautiful butterfly. You have been so willing to share this journey with us. There is the sound of joy and excitement in your voice when I hear you speak. You inspire me to slow down. Thank you for your thoughtful and kind words you have shared with us. Mandy, the uplifting one. You have become so skilled at connecting within the group in such a short amount of time. I see you stepping into your intuitive gifts and ability to share words of wisdom in an empathetic way. Thank you for reminding me to focus on the positive and to show others genuine empathy. Julie, the courageous one. Julie, you have somehow become more courageous, more inspiring, more interesting, more thoughtful. You've just become more. You truly are an inspiration in all aspects. I feel deeply honored to have gotten to meet you, and thank you for welcoming each and every one of us with open arms and an open heart. Thank you.
Beautiful, Crystal. Thank you for that. Okay. And yeah, I mean, if you wrote them down, great. If you didn't, that's okay too. Leela.
Okay, that's a hard one to follow up on. Crystal, I did not write it down. So, okay, so I'm first going to look just at everyone here on the screen. So for starters, I actually want to say to JJ, you've been on this journey with us too. And there's how can I say that there's a certain, and I don't know if it's specific to this program, but you've just shared with us, and there's a directness in your approach, but there's also a softness that you've shared with us, which has been incredibly inspiring, and it felt like you learned to trust us, just as the group grew, and you shared that part of us, and that was very I was really struck by how you really encourage and allow everyone to bring their strength to the group as well. You never spoke down to everyone. You never correct in a way. You just encourage, and you encourage everyone to bring their strength to the group as well. So when someone asks something on a topic, you recommend maybe someone else can sort of give input, and that's how everyone felt included and felt empowered, and not disempowered by your presence. So I really, really appreciated that. Yeah, and you're so true. You're so real.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Leela.
So I'm going to look around here. So just the way people are on my screen. Mandy, I feel like you came out of your shell. There's I think we've spoken about it, that there's a certain hermit quality that I also relate to, and if you're saying you didn't even like being visible or seeing yourself, it's just almost as if you just sort of became more visible, more present to all of us, and even to the extent that you have initiated setting up the group going forward. So I'm quite excited to that it feels like this is just the beginning, and we're going to continue. On my screen, Kareen, exactly, actually your self-reflection, Kareen, that was visible in you, how maybe initially it was like almost, without this sounding wrong, it's like you were the good girl. You were doing all the things and ticking the boxes, and how you became more and more a sense of not just about doing the things, but doing it for you. And as you're saying, if you can notice your voice go deeper, you became more embodied in that, in sense. I didn't get the sense like you were ticking the boxes, but that you were really truly looking after yourself. Crystal, you started off almost, I can almost say, it almost felt very spiritual, and how I could sense just because you becoming more embodied, from more of a sort of an ephemeral, I don't know if that's the right word, sort of space, into sort of like just being more grounded, and that was also noticeable. And I know one of your intentions was to be less reactive, and actually just take time to pause. Even that, there's a more of a gravitas, more groundedness to how you present and how you're showing up. Julie, it's been such a pleasure, Julie, to almost how initially you were more apologetic about taking up space, and sort of downplaying your own needs, and how you showed up and say, this is, thank you to us for tolerating you. Yeah, I think you even said that, listening to this old lady, and how you became more confident and because the group was encouraging, and how you just became more present and allowing yourself to take up space, and that was beautiful to see, and how you are really becoming more embodied and more confident and certain of yourself in your body, and I think everyone has commented on how inspiring that is to all of us, having someone older in the group. And then the two that's not here, Jen, yes, she commented how hard it was for her to own her feelings, and now she's owning it, she's expressing it, and yeah, also maybe more present and grounded. And Karine as well, I feel I relate in a way to Karen, not Karine. Karen, who feels like she hasn't been, because she's also part of a different group, and it's almost like even though we're at the end of this beta group, it's almost like we've only just settled into this group, and how it will look going forward, we don't know yet. But it's almost like we all found our feet in this group, and I'm, for one, looking very much forward to going forward and continuing to grow this at our own pace. And it feels like there's space for all of us, and we accommodating each one of us to do it at our own pace and in our own manner, and we're creating space for each other and holding space for each other. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you, Leila. Thank you. Julie.
Okay, so first of all, JJ, I really appreciated that you were guiding us and coaching us, but also doing the same things that we were doing. So like when it came to the FMD and that sort of thing, if you hadn't been doing it with us, I don't think it would have been nearly as successful. So that I appreciated that from, everything else that you do, and then, doing that. I did jot down a couple things here, and I'll take my glasses up so I can see them. The big thing, excuse me, the big thing overall is that during the course of this 2 months, you'd think, oh, well, 2 months, it's going to be do this, do this, do this. But almost every single one of us, I can't think of anybody that didn't have some kind of huge life smack them right in the head. And it was amazing to me how everyone helped each other with that and gave each other space, or if it wasn't space that we needed, then contacted individually or in the large groups, and made those times really, really special, and much easier to deal with. My first two accountability partners, since I was the old retired lady and had more time, which I thought was very fortunate. Jen, from the minute that I was paired up with you, I liked you. And I want to get to know this woman and learn things about her and have her get to know me, because we sort of think along the same lines. And so our individual sessions would back and forth each day. Our accountability really helped to keep me on track. And the same thing went along with Karen. And Karen, you were, you got COVID, you had and you were moving from this huge house to a small house, all the things that you were going through, and you still kept plugging on. And then, of course, you went to Egypt and took us right along with you on the trip, and shared all of that. Um, Kareen, you took us on trips too, and along on the back of your motorcycle there. That was fun. And then the things that were going on with you, you shared those things with us. And also the things that were happening to me in the, you were very supportive with the comments that you made and the suggestions that you had, and even research that you did to and gave to me individually and then also in the group, which those were very powerful and very important. Um, Leela, the same thing goes with the things that you spoke about in the group, and then also personally, because I liked the logical way that you spoke from your experience and kind of step by step, and gave me a whole new perspective and understanding on what I was going through. Crystal, when I had the whole business about the kind of psychic attack, and when I spoke about the horses, the equines, which we just have a horse and a donkey, but they're still special, and how I don't know if you had a hand in that. I think you did, but that morning after that I had all that frightening time, and I went out, and the horses hugged, and the equines hugged me, and I felt that came like almost directly from you, and all the other things that you have. I agree with what other people have said about how you went from kind of up here to your spirituality now has a point or a purpose. And Mandy, I would say that I'm going to kind of modify speak softly and carry a big stick, because you speak softly, but boy, oh boy, do you carry a huge heart that you share with everyone that is in this group, and I'm going to assume with everybody that you meet. So I can only say that the core, the universe, the source, whatever brought me to this group, I am blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Okay. Kareen, I'm actually going to switch you with Mandy because I know Mandy's going to be more short. So let me go. She's going to have less words than you. So Mandy, you're going to go first.
Okay. Crystal, you felt very closed off when I met you. And you are so much more open, and you give more of yourself, and you're more sure of yourself. Like when you speak, you speak as though you know what you're talking about. And not that you didn't before, but there's just a different quality about your voice that's so beautiful. I'm gonna pause. Everybody in the group looks younger than we did when we started. I noticed that a couple weeks ago on the Marcos. I was scrolling back through, and we all look different. And it's not anything really that's tangible, I don't think. So that was amazing. And then everybody, I feel like everybody's light, presence, vibration, to use JJ's words, is just so much brighter than when we started. Okay. Kareen, I feel like you are much more balanced now than when we started. I know at the beginning you were like, I hate structure. I don't want to do structure. And now you're like, maybe a little structure is good. And I'm the opposite. I'm like all the structure, and you have taught me to flow. And that has been amazing. Um, Karen, I feel like you're a little more centered. I didn't get to spend as much time with you. So I don't know, I feel like I don't know you as well. And I'm looking very much forward to getting to know you in the other group as we leave. Layla. Layla, do you have peonies in New Zealand? It is a flower, and when it starts, it's like this tight little ball, and then it blossoms, and they are more beautiful than roses. And that's what you remind me of. Jen, oh my gosh. Jen, you are so funny. And I don't know if you know you're funny, but you're hilarious. And I love it every time you talk. Um, but you are much more easy with your smiles. Your face, I don't know how to describe it, has changed and grown softer. Um, not in a fat way. I know this is a body thing, but I just mean, I don't know, your presence is just softer, and it appears as though you move easier in your videos. I don't know how to describe it, but that's what I've noticed. And then Julie, Lula hit it on the head. So you were so apologetic for taking up space or taking our time. And it made me sad because no offense to anybody else, but of everybody's Marcos, yours were the ones that I looked forward to the most. So, and now you have, I think you trust us to have you and to appreciate you and to be with you. And that was the biggest change that I saw. And I'm so blessed to have met all of you and grateful to be in this group.
Thanks, Mandy. Okay, Corinne.
So for me, everyone changed. And I think overall, what I noticed is that whatever everybody was when they came into this group, like the bit of them that had been repressed for whatever reasons, was free to just be by the end of this group, is what I will say for sure. There is just, and everybody has just become definitely more embodied, is what I sense. Everybody has more light running through them and more balance. Whatever they were, didn't have enough of or too much of, everybody has just kind of balanced out. Of course, JJ, with your coaching and your guidance, I can't say enough of, has always been like right on point, you know? And there has been, exponential change with everyone. And if I go through the group one by one, I can just share that, like with Mandy, for example, what I felt with you at the beginning was this, I could see, oh, she's got this feminine radiance that's just waiting to like burst out of her. And now it is. Like I'm watching you on camera and you are so radiant and luminous and soft and smiley. And you're like all of this flow of water, you know, that's going through the structure that you so love. And that is so beautiful. And with Crystal, like I knew the moment I saw you, I'm like, oh my God, this one is so full of magic. I wonder, like I was so curious, how is this all gonna like unfold for her? And I'm looking at you now on the screen, and you too are so just like, literally I can see just you as the magic. You are just so magical, and you're just, you have just blossomed so much in this program. And you've shared your intuitions and your magic with us as the weeks went by. And I'm like, wow, you just wow me. And Leela, you know, when I met you, also, we were partners at the beginning, and you were, you know, very quiet and sort of like a mysterious quiet. And now, for me, as I experience you, that has really turned into this beautiful tranquility that I experience you as. Like there's this calmness and this serenity that's just so different. That's not mysterious. It's open and it's available. And I love that. And Julie, like Julie, along with what everybody else was saying, and how at the beginning you came in like apologetic for just sort of just being here and taking up space. And I thought to myself, when I looked at you, I thought, wow, she is really powerful. And I don't know if she fully, does she know it? And now when I experience you, you are just so powerful. And you have made so many extraordinary shifts in this program, from not driving to driving, from not having certain sensations in your legs or feet to having some sensations, to, I mean, the list goes on and on and on with you. And you were so committed and you showed up every single day. And I just think you're very powerful and empowering. And you've like come out like this. And I can't wait to meet you in person this weekend. And for Jen, for Jen, very similar to what Mandy said. Jen, when you listen to this, I just am able to, you're more connected to your feelings now. And when you smile so much easier, you light up, and even like you get pink and you get flushed and you just like beam joy. And I just feel like you're so much more joyful now at the end of these 2 months, even with all the changes and the moving to, I think, different states you did. Even with all of that craziness and how much you work, there was more connection to your heart. And there was more joy flowing out of you. And Karen, you were very, very busy throughout this program, and I didn't get to experience you enough. And even though, with all of that said, in these last few Marcos that you did, I can sense more of like a carefreeness about you. I feel when I experience you, there's more of a freedom about you that is not just free floating up in the cosmos, but it's more of a carefreeness here. Like you're more accessible is what I experience of you. And then JJ, you know, every single one of us here, we have such different personalities, right? Some of us are super right-brained, that'd be me. And some of us are super left-brained, and some of us are, we're all so different. And you have this extraordinary capacity to know how we need to hear things, what we need to hear, the practices, or whatever you're developing or however you're coaching in is so lasered in on what everybody needs. And it's just you curate every single one of your coaching sessions to every person you're ever with. I don't know how you do it because you're JJ, right? Like you have your own personality type and how you show up in the world. But when you have a client in front of you, you just know, and you curate to that moment and where they're at. And by the end, at least for me, holy crap, like a 180 at the end of a 1 hour session with you. And it just keeps building and building. So it's been an extraordinary program. I'm excited to see as we continue on, like, we've made friends and we're on a separate little program, and we will miss you, JJ, so much. But, thank you for everything. I just think everybody's made grand changes.
Thank you, Kareem. Thank you for that. All right, my turn. All right, so I'm going to make it really poignant and short, but to the point. Crystal, you became more confident and powerful in channeling your magic through your body. So you became more centered from the beginning. Mandy, you were tentative and shy because you didn't know, and now you're waving a big stick, says Julie, and I agree with her. It's that, and you're more playful, and well, I don't think you mentioned this, but you really didn't want to dance. And your persistence, and that's part of the Taurus, like, I'm going to follow the rules, even though if I don't like them. And that's what you want to tell me. I don't like what you just said, but okay, I'm going to listen. So I appreciate that about you, because you signed up for the program. So you might as well do what I tell you to do, because that's why you're here. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. But you were embarrassed to dance in front of people. And now you're freaking out dancing in public. So there's been a little bit of change there, right? Leela, you've become more flexible and confident about that flexibility in terms of on my own time, but I'm still connected, and this can change. It's like more changeable. It doesn't have to look, it's not rigid anymore. It's not perfectionistic anymore. You're allowing the flow, you're allowing yourself to just be present and then go from there, whatever that means for you, which is really the goal, right? And anytime in our lives, it's being able to own that and then be in that and then keep nurturing that and then do whatever is needed in order to continue to make that happen. Julie, I agree, obviously, with what everyone else has said. And it has been such an honor to have you here. I don't know that you know that, and you're going to really get that this weekend when you come out. And as a recording of this, we have not all met yet in person at the Embodied Healing Intensive, but you're gonna know what I mean at the end of that weekend, when you get to be celebrated and hopefully receive that in a way that maybe you have not allowed yourself to before, because we all need role models of conscious, truth-seeking, expandable, interested, curious, committed elders that are interested in what we're doing, that are up to speed. And lady, you're up to speed. You know, you're not the cranky person holding the say, why, oh, the price of milk used to be this, and how come it's not like that anymore? Like, aging literally is getting cranky, and because the world changes around you and you don't want to go with it. You are on top of changing with it. You are in the front leading the charge. And so you have been a gift for all of us. I know we all agree on that. So thank you for that. Karen, even though, yes, you were in the other program and then you traveled a lot, even amongst all your chaos, I did feel a centeredness and a flexibility about not letting the chaos. You did the FMD in the way that you did it. I mean, you were in between two houses and getting ready for a trip, and you still committed to doing something. It might not have been in a perfect way or but you did it. And so that's a testament to the movement you wanted to make in this program, which was to focus on your body. And you did do it, even though, yes, you traveled and you still focus on your body because you exercise and you walked more than you normally do. And that's a commitment too on a vacation. Some people throw that all away. Jen, I appreciate your staring in the face of the things you don't want to do and deciding to make peace with them and deciding to love yourself in a different level, to let go of resistance to exercise and to being vulnerable with us and to doing it, because it takes courage to do that too. And I know that you are committed to that. So I definitely saw the softening of that and the commitment to that and the embodiment of letting go of that story that stopped you up until this point from getting the results that you want. And Kareen, it has been a pleasure. Obviously, I love you. I love all of you. And I've known you for many years, and you know, last year in the mastermind, even though I know you wanted to, and we're still going to work on getting your gifts and talents out into the world, but this was the piece of the body that anchors you in a way, that grounds you in a way, that heals you in a way that I didn't anticipate either. And you fought it too in the beginning, as Mandy said, the structure. I'm not a structured person, but even the counting, I mean, for crying out loud, you're counting now. Like, you have, like, your character 1 is online now. Okay, because for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it's Awaken Your Dream Life, it's whole brain living. Anyway, her character 1, her left brain, is enjoying the counting of the net carbs, is finding the freedom and the structure that I've been trying to shove down your throat for like a year and a half. But it can't, you took it in from the physical body. So your embodiment of your divinity is greater, and your being grounded. You know, some water signs and air signs are not, like, you can say they're not on the ground. Their feet are not on the ground. They're in the, and maybe that was Crystal. Oh, your feet are not on the ground, even though you're a Virgo. You know, they're so ethereal that you're up in the air and you're not grounded, but now you are solid and you are pulling that power from the earth as well as from source energy and using yourself as the channel for that. So it's been an amazing journey, and I appreciate all of your commitment to keeping everybody on point and very accountable every day with the check-in about all the things. So you guys have been amazing. It's been awesome. Obviously you probably all know why I'm making it 3 months next year, because 2 is not enough, but 2 was a place to get started and to create some momentum, but it definitely needs another month. So in January, we're starting the next Date Your Body. You'll hear more about that in weeks to come, or at the beginning. I already told you about it. And if you're on the video, I'm telling about it now. So if you're interested, you know, come to the website and fill out an application. Otherwise, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I love you. I can't wait to see most of you this weekend. And hopefully you'll stay in the community in some way, shape, or form, or at least know that I'm always here for you when you're ready to come back for whatever you need and to support you in any way that I can. So thank you all so much. Love you.